Hey everybody, and welcome to our next episode of our display carry bookshelf for Marvel Crisis Protocol or Kill Team or X-Wing, whatever small skirmish game you want to put on it. And I just got off the phone with Doug at Table War, and he confirmed that our cute little box, it will fit in one of his small carrying cases as well. How cool is that? So in this episode, I'm going to be completing the design for the drawer that comes out of the back. I'm also going to be completing the lid. I think it's called a lid. There's a bunch of work that I have to do in Illustrator, and it's very difficult to make Illustrator work A, look like I know what I'm doing, and B, also be entertaining. So I'll just have a few quick highlights of what I'm doing in Illustrator. Then I'm going to have all the parts cut out, and we are going to assemble this prototype, which means it is the second to last episode. In our next episode, all we have to do is the detailing, and we will have a fully completed display, carry case, bookshelf. So let's get to it. Okie dokie, we're going to be working on the top right now, and I have this square which is supposed to be as wide, there we go, as my sides, and then it is as long as the width of the bottom, and I think I want it to be 1/8 of an inch over, and then I want to make a little lip that's going to go down and around, so it's going to set on top. Now I'm going to design the skirts or the sides so that it will slip nicely over the rest of the box. Okie dokie, we have our sides, we have our top. Now I need to cut in 2 grooves that are going to fit the 2 background plates that Josh likes and that I like too. One is going to be a just standard square background that you could paint, I don't know, stars and whatever your background you want to be, and then a second plate where you could print or make like a cityscape or something to give you a nice sort of 3-dimensional, 2-dimensional backdrop for your tray that'll also make it much more cinematic. And I decided the simplest way to do that is to simply cut 2 channels into the lid, and then I'm gonna cut another piece that's gonna glue to the bottom of the lid so that you can just slip those on. And this is what I'm talking about right here. So these are I'm just gonna have a hole in the top, and then these will slip in, and I will glue another piece of wood to the bottom under here, maybe stick a couple magnets in it or something. Hopefully it'll be snug enough that these will just slip right in. Yeah. Whew! I took a shower and shaved. we are going to make the drawer that pulls out from the back, and we are just going to have it press fit. I'm not going to do any grooves. I'm not going to do anything fancy. It's just going to press fit in and out, which means I have to redesign the back, and then I have to design the drawer. Okay, we have our drawer done. We did make a mistake that we had to correct, which is that I had two different measurements here, so this should fit now into the back, and the back is only going to be held on to the sides right here in these two little holes, and then that will allow this entire drawer piece to pull out. Okay, so we just have to take this inside bottom tray and we have to extend it out, and then we have to make it match the sides. Not too bad. We are ready to cut, and we need to cut all the stuff for our lid. We need to cut everything for our drawer. We need to recut the back. We need to cut two new sides, and then we need to cut our middle piece. And we should be able to reuse at least a couple pieces that we had already cut. Hey everybody, okay, I have finished all of our prototype pieces. I have the drawer, I have the lids, I have the sides, I have the new inserts. I have also made sure that everything fits. I put it all together with tape and double checked it. It is time to assemble the first final prototype to prove that all of the individual components of our bookshelf carry case display is going to work. Now I have all the pieces here, and I'm going to assemble them. But before I do that, in this time lapse, I have to tell you that I have made a very dumb mistake, and it's gonna cost me a lot of time in order to correct that mistake inside of Illustrator before I cut the absolute final version, which is going to be Josh's version, and before I share any of those files with the general public. Now let me explain to you the very bonehead maneuver. Now, obviously the laser cutter is extremely precise, down to 1/1000th of an inch, and you are able to cut things that will literally press fit together, which is amazing. It's absolutely incredible. You can do beautiful, beautiful patterns, super delicate filigree. People have even used it for like making pointillism art that looks like it has incredible depth. The mistake that I made is that when determining the thickness of my pieces of wood, I decided to use highly accurate calipers. Now this should give me a reading to 1/1,000,000th of an inch, which means that I should be able to translate that into Adobe Illustrator, and all of my pieces should fit together perfectly. They should hold together with just the slightest touch, and that is true for all of my key marks. So everything that is a dovetail fits perfectly into its corresponding female or male component. However, my overall lengths, I made a mistake, and that mistake is this particular wood, the wood that I buy for laser cutting, comes with paper glued to it. As you can see, I can peel away a little bit of paper. Now that paper is on both sides and of course adds to the thickness of the wood. And the reason why that this paper is here is you can see across here the paper is burned, but when I remove that paper, the wood is going to be crisp and clean and beautiful. Now what I did is when I used my calipers to check the thicknesses of my wood and I got 0.215 or 0.22, I used that in Illustrator when in fact, if I take a piece of wood where I've already removed the paper and I measure it, it is precisely 0.20, which means that a whole bunch of my lengths are 1/1000th of an inch too long. Now overall for this prototype build, that's not too big of a deal. It just means that some of my dovetails, for example, like this one, they fit in really nice, but they protrude, they are proud, as it's called, by 1/1000th of an inch. I doubt I'm going to be able to focus on that. Again, it's not a big deal. It's not going to stop me from assembling this. It could actually be aesthetically pleasing, and if I didn't tell anybody, you probably all wouldn't even know that it's an issue. It is, however, an issue for when I designed the shelf, because the shelf had to be perfectly flat on the bottom, and because these bumps were slightly proud, that posed a problem, which means that I had to go back in and I have to shave them down by hand. And we don't want that. That's time wasted. So for the final version, I have to fix that. That is a mistake that I made by neglecting to take into account the thickness of the paper. Who knew that the thickness of the paper was thick enough to affect the overall design? So I'm going to fix that after this video at some other time in Illustrator so that the final files are perfect. Right now, let's get to assembling this final prototype. And there we go. Pretty much everything on the prototype is complete and working. Let's check and make sure that everything fits. So we have our different channels so that we can put custom made backgrounds in. Right now I have these sort of like mountain things, which will look pretty cool with your characters behind them. Obviously you can custom paint them, make them look even cooler. We have our lid, which comes off, revealing the box. And the box holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be 10 of your cards. This is a bag with every single token and every single dice. This is for pretty much all armies that are out. It fits perfectly well in there. And then of course you have your scorecard. And you even have a little bit of extra room, so we can close that up. Now, obviously, what we haven't done in this episode is we're going to be putting in an insert. So we will be taking a piece of wood or a piece of plastic. We'll be laying it down. We'll be cutting holes in it. We'll be putting magnets down so that your models fit perfectly. And then you'll be able to take that off. Let's flip it around to the back where we have our drawer. For some reason, I am missing my number 1 size, and I am missing one of my movement markers, which is super annoying. But there is more than enough room for all of them, as you can see. And then we will have our long movement, our medium movement, and our short movement. Those will have a nice inset, so you can take this out and you can set it, anywhere you want. And then when you're done, bada bang, put it back in. There we go. In our final episode, what we're going to be doing, we are going to be putting in the inlays. We're going to be decorating our actual backgrounds so that they are painted. I'm going to be adding some detail here, maybe some sewer pipes, make it look like a street. And I'm going to be doing a custom etch for the front, a little veneer piece that's going to go right here. Maybe it'll say Marvel Crisis Protocol, maybe it'll say my name or whatever. It's going to go there, and we will be done. And of course, we're going to mount it to the wall. Silly me. Well, that's super exciting. We got a pretty much fully functional prototype done in this 4th episode, which just leaves one more to get all the details and the painting, and we will have a fully modded out display bookshelf carry case for any of your skirmish games, specifically Marvel Crisis Protocol, again, X-Wing or Kill Team, anything with 30 models or less. We've got some nice space to hold all of your stuff. We have the drawer that comes out of the back, which is really, really fun. And then our customizable and changeable backgrounds. So one more episode to go. I do have to go in and make some changes, a whole bunch of little tweaks, which I will be doing off camera between this episode and next episode. I'm really excited. This is awesome. Whew! I can't believe we got it done. It's gentle. It's a gentle baby, because I actually just finished filming the intro, and now I'm finished filming the outro. Even though you just saw me glue all of this together, this is actually still taped together because I haven't done the gluing yet. It's crazy how time works. Just crazy. I hope that you all enjoyed this episode so much. I cannot wait for the finale of this video, which is going to be coming up in the next couple weeks when I finish doing the details on the front, as well as doing the monogram here, putting in the inlays, making these cool little background plates all nice and pretty. And then yes, it is true, we will have a display bookshelf carry case for Marvel Crisis Protocol or Kill Team or X-Wing or any of your other smaller skirmish games that are, let's say, 30 models or less. Let's go with that. 30 models or less. If you enjoy this sort of build, if you enjoy our content, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the bell button if you never want to miss an update. If you want to take your patronage to the next level, check out our Patreon in the notes below. You can join our Discord channel for free, but if you want special privileges in our Discord, you can do so by joining our Patreon. Otherwise, as always, we'll see you on the table.